Of the Hive, Chapter 7, Friendship. Twilight's mind was frozen from sensory overload. Between the shock of laying 4 eggs, her friends clamoring to see what had happened, and every last local drone sending her queries to see if she was alright, made it impossible for her to think. Wild hairs were popping out of her mane and tail so quickly she looked like an electrocution victim as her panic spun out of control.
I can't do this! No.
Twilight's downward spiral continued until Cadista's powerful voice silenced the alarm across the hive and jolted Twilight back to her senses.
Twilight, speak to me. Are you alright?
At the same time, Rainbow Dash pushed her way past Ratchet and stopped dead at the 4 purple eggs.
Twilight, what the heck are those?
Twilight's burgeoning ability to hold 2 conversations at once kicked in.
Cadista, I laid eggs! My eggs. Listen very carefully, Twilight. I want you to get to a room somewhere quiet where you can calm down. There's much you need to learn about caring for your eggs.
Rainbow Dash was bowled over by Fluttershy as she rushed in to inspect the eggs.
Oh my, so I wasn't imagining things. You really were about to lay eggs. Isn't nature just marvelous?
Twilight went slack-jawed.
Wait, you knew I was going to lay eggs?
The same question was mirrored by the others outside of the bathroom, making Fluttershy cower under the scrutiny.
Well, I take care of a lot of oviparous animals. I'm just not used to seeing the signs in a pony.
Cadista soothed Twilight as much as possible through the link.
I know this is a momentous event, but try to remain calm. Let me know when you have a chance to speak at length. The caretakers from the mobile incubator are en route, but for the moment you need to keep the eggs with you.
Twilight's thoughts slowed down, and her hyperventilation returned to normal.
I will, thank you. This is big. Really big. I have to get the girls to not freak out about this.
She raised her voice a little to stop all of her friends' frenzied chatter.
Girls, please, I just laid 4 eggs. I'm sticky, I don't know what to do. Please, just give me some time to think.
Fluttershy squeaked and started pushing Rainbow Dash out of the cramped bathroom.
Come on, Rainbow, you wouldn't want a bunch of gawkers staring at you if you laid eggs, would you?
Rainbow blushed.
Well, no. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Twilight sighed in relief as Ratchet closed the door.
Please tell my friends everything Cadista will allow.
You have my word, Twi, he replied. With their privacy finally obtained, Twilight promptly fell into her haunches, erecting a sonic barrier around her head, and screamed for a whole minute. Believing that wasn't enough, she screamed for another 2 minutes, before she expelled enough emotional chaos to think clearly again.
Okay, Twilight Sparkle, keep it together. Keep it together.
Marshalling up her courage, she faced the eggs.
Cadista, these eggs of mine, they're just blanks, right? I don't have any relations with any pony?
Cadista was glad to hear Twilight was much more collected.
You self-fertilize your eggs in the absence of a mate.
Now Twilight was even more confused.
Self-fertilize? But doesn't that mean they'll become clones of me? Yes, but that's what alchemy is for. Genetic modification. I'll teach you about it later. For now, it seems that Ponyville is in the middle of summer, meaning temperatures shouldn't be a problem, and the shells will be hardened for the next 3 hours. So, you'll have time for a quick shower, but afterwards you will need to feed your eggs a large amount of love. Okay, I think I can handle that.
Twilight grabbed a towel and cleaned her eggs with warm water, then dried them off and wrapped them in another towel, before tending to her own needs. During her shower, Cadista continued.
Because of how our hive mind works, you will need to saturate them with love before they can be placed inside an incubator. Do we really need incubators, or is it just for safety? Both, actually. A problem that Yumi and I ran into is that our eggs simply don't contain enough nutrients due to our children requiring such a heavy investment of resources. So, rather than perform risky improvements on ourselves, we turn to technology. Our scientists developed incubators to provide a constant supply of food and love via the crystals. This allowed the much simpler task of re-engineering our eggs to be semi-permeable. Each egg has a 3-hour period where the shell is extremely durable, so transport to an incubator is not hazardous.
Cadista paused.
Oh, one more thing. By being the first to give your unhatched children love, it will permanently link you to them via the hive mind. Just as I was the first to give you love in the chrysalis.
Twilight ended her shower and wrapped the towel around her eggs, looking at them with trepidation.
This is really it. My first clutch of eggs. Will that cause problems with our hive mind? No, so long as you remain within our link, all of your children will as well. However, should you or I be severed from the link at any point, your children will remain with you in a new hive mind. This is how each new generation of queens rise from the old.
The implications hit Twilight like a truck as she laid down to get a closer look at her eggs. The future changelings within here were barely a lump of cells, but to Twilight, they represented a point of no return.
I understand. How will I know when I've given them enough? You will know.
Twilight tried to lick her lips, but her tongue was just as dry. She swallowed the lump in her throat.
I'm not gonna let them starve just because I'm scared.
Stealing her nerve, she bent her head down to point her horn at the eggs, dipped into her exorbitant reserves of love, and poured a large amount into each one. As the transfer progressed, the eggs started glowing with a pale lavender light. The orange-colored magical bridge between her horn and the eggs developed faint flickers of purple, but it went unnoticed to Twilight. Slowly the glow intensified, and Twilight stopped after she felt the love was no longer being absorbed. Each egg radiated a gentle purple light.
Are they supposed to glow like that? I cannot see through your eyes, but yes, they will glow for a few hours before the light fades. Do you notice their presence on the link?
Twilight didn't understand.
They're too underdeveloped to have a brain yet. How can they be in the hive mind? Instead of trying to find their voices, find the spots that have been reserved for them in the link. How do I do that?
Twilight had barely finished asking the question when Cadista gave her the answer over the link. Armed with this new knowledge, Twilight quickly found 4 empty holes within the hive mind.
So each drone has a place reserved for them within the hive mind?
Cadista was pleased with Twilight's rapid comprehension of new information.
Yes, and once their minds have developed enough to link with you, they will do so automatically.
Twilight had calmed down considerably, and her maternal instincts began to take hold. She smelled weakly at her eggs, and carefully rubbed one with a fetlock.
How long until they hatch? 30 days, but they will spend nearly 3 years as nymphs until they molt into what you would know as pony adolescence. After that, they will age as normal ponies. For the time being, you should let the caretakers handle them. Right now, I think it would be wise to save Ratchet. Your friends are very worried about you.
Twilight stood up and wrapped the eggs back in the towel, and levitated them between her wings as she left the bathroom.
Knowing Rainbow Dash and Applejack, one of them probably have Ratchet in a headlock by now.
Twilight felt a much more familiar grumble in her gut.
Guess laying eggs works up quite an appetite.
She cantered towards the stairs, with a little spring in her step.
Understandable. Not only is your development towards a full queen commencing, but you need to sustain your laying rates.
Twilight's canter slowed to a walk.
Rate? How often am I going to lay?
Cadista was hesitant to answer.
As a proto-queen, you have little control over this beyond starving yourself. I laid a clutch every day.
Twilight froze halfway down the stairs.
Every day? Until you mature into a full queen, yes. It is not pleasant, but it is part of a queen's life cycle, and no pony has dared tamper with it. You'll just have to bear with it.
Twilight groaned.
Okay, whatever, that'll be future Twilight's problem. Right now, I have to make sure my friends stay my friends. I'll do my best. Thanks for helping me. Your gratitude is not necessary, Twilight, but it is appreciated. If you have further questions, you can speak to me at any time.
Twilight took 4 slow deep breaths after Cadista severed communications.
I have tons of questions, but I can't make my friends wait anymore.
After making sure her eggs were secure on her withers, she ventured downstairs. Twilight heard Ratchet speaking as she made her way to the ground floor.
And that's why Twilight is a proto-queen.
Rainbow Dash stopped Twilight first, then flew over.
So, it's true. You're like a bug queen? Bug queen?
Twilight frowned.
I am a changeling proto-queen, yes. I was hoping that we could just drop this whole egg thing. I haven't seen you guys in months, and I just want us to be normal friends again.
Rarity tittered at the thought.
Oh, darling, we've been anything but normal since we became the elements of harmony. But I'm willing to ignore this unpleasantness for your sake.
Twilight wasn't sure of Rarity's wording.
Well, I'll take what I can get and build from there.
Applejack gave Rarity a critical eye before turning back to her friend.
Well, shoot, Twat, this is all a bit over my head, but I can appreciate you and Ratchet being honest rather than trying to hide everything from us. I don't see any reason we can't still be friends.
Pinky barely managed to let her friends speak their minds before exploding from her seat to try and peek at the eggs as Twilight made it to the ground floor.
Oh, if you need a full sitter, I can totally do that.
Pinky frowned and then sat on her haunches.
Wait, they're egg snuffles. Would that make me an egg sitter? Do I have to sit on the eggs to keep them warm? Is that the only way to be an egg sitter?
Twilight took a step back from Pinky while flaring her wings.
We don't sit on our eggs, but thanks for the thought, Pinky.
Twilight spied Fluttershy whispering with Ratchet before she ran out of the library. The purple changing wanted to ask Ratchet what was going on, but Rainbow got in her face again.
How can you be so okay with laying eggs?
Twilight frowned again.
I'm trying to be okay with it, and you aren't helping. Yeah, well, you seem awfully protective with a bunch of eggs that you never knew were coming. How do we know that you're not being brainwashed into some super bug mom or something? I am not being brainwashed, Rainbow Dash,
protested Twilight.
How would you feel if you had a full, huh? Would you just leave her on the side of the street? Well, that's different. At least I know I had a foal coming. You were way too shocked to have known that you were gonna lay eggs.
Twilight was almost against the wall.
I was told, Rainbow, repeatedly, practically every day since I hatched. I just didn't want to think about it. I thought it might have been years, or at least a few months, but no. It happened today, okay?
Twilight's eyes watered as her voice cracked.
So now I have to deal with it because that's what I am. I'm a changeling queen. I lay eggs. If that's such a problem for you, Rainbow Dash, then I'll just leave you alone.
She pushed past the mortified Pegasus and was briefly surrounded by orange flames as she donned her drone disguise before turning back to the group.
Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go to the train yard.
Twilight sent a command to the nearby caretakers to return to the mobile incubator as she left her friends behind. I can't imagine that's the most comfortable situation. You just give birth, and then someone is complaining about it. Or at least arguing, or whatever the case is. Anyways, let's get on to our glorious donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Only One Thing. Dash of Evergreen, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, Crazy Color 557, Stu Heck, Sword Brother and Mordred, Omicron Library, Will Chris, Twinkie, Hudzaza, Rightful, Dospo, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.